back on your screen with a fresh episode of Nigeria Now. Scientists in China have identified. My name is Lois Turaki, and I have Solomon Sambu Sabi to do this with me. Ebola and all those other viruses that came from China, especially, it's this one just was reported yesterday, I think, and then it becomes a thing of concern because before you know it, just like COVID, it started gradually, and then before we knew it, it became a menace in the. It had affected economy, and then
it shut down
the whole world. Yes. Until now, some countries are still battling COVID, and so scientists in Asia, especially, and then China, to be specific.
The short form, you know, all of those virus, they have whatever. The name sounds like it sounds nice, like it's just something that. But the whole thing is that when you talked about China, like you said earlier, and people will start asking questions, why China? Quickly, they had to do something. The scientists had to do something to really attack it and stop it. And then after that, with even Nigeria, every day now you have new cases. And then coupled with the nature of keep warm, take warm water, and then make sure you adhere to all. Okay, and now the world is normal, but why are people still wearing nose masks or face? The issue of physical distancing, in some cases, not all, And then when you look at issue of politics and the rest, you see those things not really bases are only in banking hall, and some strategic places, or how you begin to act. Some of the diseases is just that, or virus, it's just that they give them a lot of attention. Like this one, they discovered that 35
persons.
35, right? 35 persons have been found.
And it's not just about 1899 and has infected 7 humans and more than 70 horses, because it's an animal virus. And then I even wonder how, some of these viruses that they say that it's mostly found, we treated in this particular program. We had a doctor that spoke about it, and then he gave reasons. I saw reasons from what he was saying, that the reason why human, let me just call it the sexual relationship they have with these animals. This life today, sexual relationship with animals, that's why some of these viruses, you get them from animals transmitted to humans. And then sometimes we hear these things and we think they are not close. It's in China, wasn't how we even get here and all of that. But before you know it, transportation, there are different kind of traits that are going on in different parts of the world. So before you know it, from one country to another, and then it spreads throughout the whole world, and then before you know it, is now in the country, and everybody is trying to battle and see how you're going to protect yourself, how you're going to get cure. And some people, unfortunately, will lose their lives because of this kind of viruses. So in as much as we hear it from afar, we should know that it can be here. Some people can contact it. Some people can even die of these viruses. So just like you said, we should adhere to some of these precautionary measures so that we will not be victims of this virus. That's the Levi. I prefer to call it that. And I just want to quickly give some of the what I call symptoms of these particular virus. Most of these viruses have similar kind of symptoms, but this one, they say the virus can cause acute fever, fatigue, cough, and loss of appetite. And then some patients also had body aches, nausea, vomiting, headaches. That's according to the researchers. And so sometimes if we feel some of the symptoms, it might not really be malaria, it might not be typhoid and all of these common diseases that we feel. Once you feel headache, you feel fever, you just rush and want to start taking all those medications. I know that sometimes I can be a victim of such actions, but then it's really very wrong. The medical people have advised severally that we should stop self-medication. Once you have a particular symptom or you feel somehow, you should get proper medical attention and not just go to a pharmacy and just start getting drugs up and down. And so some of these things, we need to be very careful about them.
Yeah, like just the way you said, some of these diseases normally have almost the same symptoms. This acute fever, cough, particularly in this part of the world, like here, this weather always, it's cold. Like today, it was just rainy throughout. So you imagine,
people that are not in Jos might not really relate
to that. Yes, well, normally in Jos here, Plateau State, Nigeria, during August, it's rain all day, and then the weather gets to be cold. So definitely, if you are not keeping yourself warm, the issue of cold, catarrh will come, the fever and the rest. But even at that, once you begin to feel that, try and just go and find a proper medical check, and so that people will know exactly what's happening to you, so that they will give you the necessary medication for you to take. And that is very key. It is very important. And we want to appreciate our doctors, our nurses, those that are really working hard to make sure that they take care of the sick ones.
Yes.
One of our Equa TV fan, had to call our line and say this is what he's going through. He wants us to pray with him, and then we are praying with him as a family in Equa TV International, and then we pray that God will heal him even as he goes out there to look for
and for many people out there that are struggling with their health, we just hope and we pray, we keep praying for people. There's so many different hospitals, some are even at home, they can't even afford bills, hospital bills. We just hope and we pray that God will give you speedy recovery. And now we want it has been a battle since after the primaries that Wike has been I don't even know the word to use right now, but he has not found all these things funny. Let me say it that way. And we have seen a lot of things that have erupted from the sad incident that happened to him. He wanted badly to be the candidate for the presidential candidate for the People's Democratic Party, but that did not happen because of some of the things that took place in their party. They know better. But then we just my own take on this issue is, I just feel like if Wike is really not happy with the things that took place during the primaries, and then I know there are similar several incidents that has happened, and then he has been appeased one way or the other, and still I don't think that one has gone so well. I just feel if he wants to leave the party, he's free to leave the party. But I feel, again, he doesn't want to leave the party because probably he wants to deal with them, or I really don't know what he wants to achieve. But then, maybe.
Yeah, let me say that whatever Wike is doing, to a certain extent, you can say he's right. Yes, because if you look at what Wike did to the party that we are talking,
yes,
it's something that when you say you count people that stand by the party all this while, and then put his resources, his energy and everything to see that the party is done, I think take away Wiki, take away Farashi, take away who again? Some few people. There is no opposition, if not for Wiki and just few others. All this while we've been asking, even the first tenure of this administration, people were asking, where are the opposition party? Is it a unity government that when APC came and then everybody was is on board, like the PDP, the APC, the ABGA, and the rest, like they brought everybody. So that's why you can't hear anything like opposition where things are going wrong. Because imagine then when PDP were in power, you know how APC were giving them the fight as in opposition, like back to back, every time challenging them on their policies, challenging them of their action, challenging them of like virtually everything. They are following them. But you didn't see that. Only you will hear Wiki, and some people will ask, is it Wiki that owns the party, or he is, as a person, the only opposition? Remember how Wiki stood when issue of McCarthy came, the issue of Alimodu Sharif, the issue of, I mean, everything. Okay, now, they lost power. Power shifted to the north, right? Let's say 8 years or 7 years plus now. This regime now are rounding up. And then there's supposed to be that power shift from the south, right? It's not the issue of party now. It's the issue of equity, fairness, and justice. And if you look at what Wiki is fighting, Wiki is not fighting for himself. Wiki is looking at the nation, the country. If you say you have this country at heart, if you say, yes, you play politics well, and the politics you play is the politics of unity, of uniting this country, right? You can't sit down and say simply because somebody have the money to have the way, even when the platform didn't warrant that such persons should come as a candidate. Let's just be fair to this thing. Okay, look at it. And people now are asking, if you say this power is supposed to shift to the south, we had Goodluck Jonathan. We know how PDP stood, and then they fought and they said, yes, this thing should rotate. At that time, yes, you had a presidential candidate that came from the north, simply because we feel, yes, Southern just finish his own tenure and it should come back. But at the end of it, he didn't get it. Okay, now is your turn to produce another candidate on the platform of the PDP, and then you brought somebody from the north. And then knowing fully that the Fulani man is leaving the #1 seat, and then you are suggesting a Fulani man from the north. You get the point. So that's what Wike is saying. He's saying you are not being fair to even the people of the south. You are not even fair to people that even stood for the party and even fight, when even some of the northerners are even quiet simply because a northerner is ruling. These are some of the things that I think we should not crucify Wike. People should see it from that angle, even though the question is that why is he open to like APC people now? Because you now see him having audience with APC governors, APC chieftains, you know, calling them for commissioning here and there. But if you know Wike very well, Wike doesn't care who commissioned his project.
I just feel he's just being himself, because just like you've said, he has been one of the backbones of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and then it was so unfortunate that such an incident happened. To be fair, if the party or if politics want to be fair in Nigeria, there should be power rotation, because if not, some regions will feel cheated, while some will be will have the upper hand. And just like we've seen that this particular political season is just going somehow. We are talking about the Muslim ticket. We are talking about power is still going from the same, moving, the same direction, instead of other people to have a fair share of the power. Say the national cake should be shared equally and all of that. But right now, that's not what is happening. And so, just like you said, you wouldn't really blame Wike for the way he's acting. Because I know if he wants to leave the party, probably he would have done that before now. Or anything can happen anyways, because it's politics and it's Nigeria, so anything can happen.
During his campaign, during the primaries, he told the delegate that he's here to stay, because he know what he has invested, when it comes to the party. He know what he has done for the party. And then the party officials, everybody in PDP knows you can only shy away, because what Wike did for the party, it's glaring. Wike is a fighter. Wike doesn't want people to see him as a second-class citizen. Wike is somebody that stands for the truth and nothing for the truth. Yes, he has his own shortcomings. He has his own lapses, but at least you can see him standing high, being dogged on certain things that he feel is an injustice, and that's why I respect him for that. If you know that you have somebody like that up to now you are pursuing him, pleading with him, then why did you treat him as such? That's just the question. Okay, now, after treating him that way, and then now you are running helter-skelter, and then trying to blame him, he's being hard-headed, he's this, he's that. You understand? When he was raising all of these questions, you ignore him, you feel you will have your own way. And then you can't produce a president from just one side. Even if you claim. And then if you look at it, if APC now, we are saying APC are giving Nigerians Muslim ticket, which they feel is not fair, right?
Of course. That's
from APC angle. We feel is not fair. That's not justice for other even religion. Okay, now we know that the party, the seat's supposed to shift from the north to the south. You are not being fair. So if you look at the both sides, PDP is not being fair to the Southerners by the virtue of producing somebody from the north, which this time around you're supposed to give it to the south, so that even APC and PDP. will zone it there to the south. All you do, present it to Nigerians, and then they will see who is the better candidate coming from the south to even take the seat of power. Okay, now look at it. What if PDP wins? Is it not still Muslim ticket?
Yes.
To me, personally, because it's from Muslim to another Muslim. There's no fairness, there's no justice to that. If you are looking at it that way, and you can't waive it. You can't waive it. These things are there. We are not matured enough to say that you can do Muslim or Christian ticket. Just imagine.
That's the question most Nigerians are asking. Imagine that it was Christian ticket. Will people take it? Will it be accepted? Because we know Nigeria and we know the caliber of people we have in this country. So will that be accepted? But before we finish or we end this show today for today's episode, I want to talk about the terrorist release of children, three others that were adopted in the Abuja train attack. Yesterday
7
were released, and then 5 were abducted. So like 2 people were released.
That's a very good angle to even do your plus and minus. 7 were released and 5 were adopted again. So in real sense, if you do plus and minus, that means 2 were released. But we will say our heart goes with the family of those that are still in captivity, and then we say for those that are being released, we are happy. We congratulate the family, at least for that union now. And looking at those that are being released, look at those children. Very innocent.
It's just quite unfortunate that Nigeria happened to those children. I just wonder how these children are going to be normal, grow to be normal people in the society, having gone through this kind of traumatic attack, the stay or the imprisonment that they had in that particular bush or wherever they were kept for this past few months. And it's sad talking about an adult going through this. Then you see children that were kept in that place. You don't even know the kind of things they went through, and some of those places you have sexual abuses, you have all manner of things. We watched in the video the previous time that they were being flogged. We don't know even if these children were among those that were flogged and all of that. You can just imagine all the inhumane things that happened.
Even if they are not flogged at that time, but you look at how your parents are being flogged, and then they are crying, they are shouting, they are pleading, kneeling down, and then you watch that. That humiliation, it is something that I feel Nigeria, we should speak with one voice, because this issue of insecurity, it's really eating us down up. It's not the issue that because it's not happening to you and then you feel it didn't get to you, so it's normal. You never can tell. And then what goes around comes around. Imagine, then we're hearing this issue of insecurity in one part of the country now is taking over. Like when you're going out, you're just like, okay, I'm going out. When I come back, fine. It's not supposed to be. And then we are saying we are the giant of Africa, the populous black nation in the world, and then we are projecting ourselves with such. I don't think it will say well to us as a country. And then looking at 2023 general election that is forthcoming, with such kind of insecurity, people will start questioning, will the elections hold, and then is it possible we can end all of this nonsense? Yes, it's possible. It's possible. It's just a political will.
I saw a post that says, with all the ASU strike and all the things happening, the APC still expect the youths or the students that are on strike to still vote for them.
Who will do the even returning officers? Is it not the lecturers?
It's the lecturers. And we saw that they did that even in the Oshun and so it's quite unfortunate. Well, thank you for staying with us on today's episode, and do remember that we'll still be back on your screen tomorrow morning by 10 a.m. Do well to keep a date with us and stay tuned for our other programs. I remain Lois Turaki, and thank you, Solomon Sambu, for doing this with me.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, remember that our debate is coming up on the 13th of August. That's on Saturday by 6 o'clock p.m. Do well to keep a date and watch. Thank you for staying with us. Have a blessed day.